Hello everybody and welcome into the SFA Season 20 College Football Playoff. We are finally here. One of the biggest changes of the season was the format to the postseason. Yesterday we did the 11 non-playoff bowl games, and today we're going to hopefully do the first two rounds of the College Football Playoff. 24 teams, one will be left standing. How the new format works is we're going to do the first round games and the second round games, all BearCave style, and then the top 8 will all have game day games the rest of the way. So, first two rounds BC, and then rest game day. So every team has to win at least one BearCave game to win a national championship. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time. My plan right now is to do first and second round today, and then every single day up till next weekend, we have one game in the morning. So just keep in mind, once we get to the final 8, I'll put you guys in a channel, let you guys decide which day. But yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. This might be the first time ever we've had teams play 2 games in a day. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that affects everybody, see if any of these first round teams can find their way in. But enough of me waffling. Let's look at the field here. This is the 24-team bracket. If you have any questions about it, let me know. I am so excited for this, but we're doing the first round first, obviously, and then we'll do the second round to get to those neutral sites. And remember, folks, every single team is playing at home in these first 2 rounds. So this should be interesting. First time we've ever had a doubleheader. Looks like it. But let's get into the game. So we're just going to go by seed for the first and second round. So we'll start with Ohio State taking on FAU. FAU was given a 1 in 1.8 trillion chance of winning the national championship. They did win the Sun Belt, but first they have to go on the road to Ohio State. And also, if you're looking at the matchups, like this says New Mexico Bowl, it's not actually the New Mexico Bowl. It just has to have the placeholders there. So we have no spreads or anything for the CFP. We've done the March Madness thing. So every game left is going to be a who wins. Are you going to trust Ohio State and think that you can take home an easy pot? Or do you think FAU is going to pull off the miracle? So FAU, can they save Christmas? Same everything. We're doing same format for BearCave. We'll jump in sim to the end. If it's close, great. If not, we will move right along. So can Florida Atlantic save Christmas? A 70 overall. Winner goes on the road to face Coach Bob Toledo. Let's get it started. 24-team action live. Let's get her done. Oh, baby. 24-team playoff is live. Here we go. Gonna be a fun time. Really what I'm looking for in the first round, are we gonna see any team shock the world and win on the road in round 1? That is the question. We are at the shoe, Ohio State. Interesting year for them. They probably would have made the playoff on the old 14 team. So here we go, but Florida Atlantic has been playing out of their mind lately. They won in double OT on a botched pitch against Southern Miss. Here we go, baby. No, so how the scoring works is it's a full March Madness. So you're just picking games. First round is like a point, second round's 2 points, third, and so on and so on. So there's about 80 total points up for grabs. All right, heads and kick as always. Here we go. Welcome in on a Sunday morning stream. Let's get her done. First quarter. 3-0 start for Ohio State. FAU hanging in there. It's 10-0 early, and oh no, this might turn into a splattering very quickly. It's 22-0. Next quarter, can FAU even put a point on the board? Yes, they do. All right. Thank you, FAU, not getting shut out here. 29-36. Florida Atlantic trying to put something together, but it's looking like Ohio State will be moving on to the second round here in the 24-team CFP. We don't have to jump in. It's a 21-point game, and there we go. So, of course, for all these games, Vert Rouge got a 91-yard run and a pass. Vert Rouge having the game of his life. SFA player, of course. So FAU 1.8 trillion, not going to happen today. Ohio State moves on. I'm going to take a little closer look at all the stats in these games because remember, national championship on the line, CFP, MVP, and all that stuff. So Bill Hancock, 277, 2 touchdowns. Watts had 70 yards. 134 Perez. Good season for FAU, but it ends here on the road. Three deflections. The forced fumble. And for Ohio State, Isaac Osborne, 25-33, 284. 4 touchdowns. Great day for him. Mike Houston ran for 229. Vert Rouge had 109 on the ground. And Ohio State actually the team in the playoff with the most experience. This is their 7th appearance. They're tied, or not tied. They're just solo 3rd most CFP appearances in our history here. 3 sacks, no picks. Some deflections, the 2 forced fumbles, and no recoveries. So Ohio State wins it here at home. They'll move on to face Eastern Michigan. Let's get our players of the game. Vert Rouge. I would have been shocked if FAU actually kept it rolling. But now the rest of the games are not going to shock me. All right, so next up here is we're going to go just by seeding here. So it's Army and Arkansas State. So let's go find that game. Winner takes on Coach Pizza in the Pickleman. Arkansas State at Army. So Coach Fire Dogs, if you're here, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. Only 4% picked FAU. They did not come to play. Let's get those Babanas in, folks. Who are you rocking with? Is Army going to survive, or will it be Arkansas State moving on? They shocked the world and beat Coach Fi. Who wants to step up and beat the Pickle? This would be probably about a 6.5-point favorite for Army. I do not see Coach Fire Dogs in chat. But we'll still rock with him as I typically do. Who's stepping up to the Pickle? So great start, Ohio State. Number 1 defense in the country here. A top 10 defense for Arkansas State, so not a lot of points being scored in this one. Arkansas State has been a tough team this year. So we'll see if they can survive. Of course, not as good as they used to be with Chet Doge, but Conference USA champs. Here we go. Army at home. Can they keep the dream alive? They did beat Notre Dame, so this is a pretty good team. Here we go. It will be a kick, and Army will start with the rock. Here we go, folks. First round action in the 24-team CFP. Quick 14-0 start for Army. What a start here for the Black Knights, and a safety for Arkansas State. Oh man, leave it. Don't score again. 28-2. Do we have a scoregami? Please, please give us the scoregami. 28-2 would be electric. No! So 28-9. So now we start to get a little closer here. Is Arkansas State going to make this a game? It doesn't look like it. Army, what a start! Pizza shivering in his boots here at the side of 38 from Army. We'll see what they can do a little bit later, but Army is moving on. Holy cow. So no upsets yet. Domination here from Army. Even with a safety given up, it did not even matter a little bit. An absolute splatter here. They were both the same score-fi? Matt Kerr, they win and he only has to... Pizza! He hit the Concepcion line and the Gamara line exactly on the nose. Army is beating Texas Tech. You heard it here first. Matt Kerr. Frame Moggin Pizza with that one. Gable Glazer had 123. Montrell Rogers had a score. 12 pancakes for Atkinson. 4 TFLs, the sack for Doug Anderson. Walker Trapp, one of the best linebackers in the country. He gets a pick. Yeah, but the fact that they scored 38 points in hitting those lines, I'd be scared. The fact that their quarterback went 50% and only had 100 yards, and they still put 38 points up. So down goes the Conference USA champ. The independent bid still going along, of course, with Notre Dame. So before we start the second round, I will post all the game results with their stats. Oh, congrats on the Gasparilla Bowl. All right, we continue here. Next up, probably the most volatile team in the nation, Arkansas. They're a national championship favorite and also a favorite to get upset by Oklahoma State. Coach Fed, if you're here, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. Who is winning it all? A lot of brackets would be busted if Oklahoma State wins it here, including mine. Who are you cheering for here? So I don't see Sved, so Phi or Keat, if you want to pick your jersey, of course, and kick or receive. Get that money on the line. Can Oklahoma State save Christmas here? They do have the second best quarterback in the country. This is a Victor Ross versus Danny Omaha is going to be wonderful. Sorry, Keat can pick his jersey. Home tails kick. All right, here we go. This is the first game where I'm like, okay, there might be a chance. Those first two games felt like they're going to be splatters, but now we got two top 10 offenses. What kind of version of Arkansas is going to show up? Winner, who are they facing? Winner faces Pitt on the road later today. Let's see what happens. The Omahags are at home. When is that first close game or that first upset going to happen? Victor Ross finished as the runner-up in the Heisman Trophy voting. The transfer from Texas. Here we go, SEC football, baby. In a year where Tyreek Asher enters the Hall of Fame, can Oklahoma State actually win a playoff game? Historically, they have not been able to do too much here in the playoff. Heat wants to kick. Here we go. Can Oklahoma State start out with a bang? Number 22 in the nation, 3 and out. Oh dear. No score here early. Oklahoma State starts it. Arkansas has one of the best 1-2 punches in the country. Radeau along with Danny Omaha. 7 all. Oh man, these teams are feeling each other out. Arkansas takes a 2-score lead right before half. Oh, diabolical. What a job there for Arkansas. Stacking them up twice. Can they maintain the lead there? Now the scoring is going crazy. Is Arkansas going to survive? An interception by Corey Huggins in the end zone, and that probably ends the game. Another touchdown. Arkansas is going to win this game at home. Congratulations, Arkansas. Great job stepping up to the plate, and they knock out OK State. So they'll move on to play on the road at Pittsburgh. Great job there. So they scored twice right before halftime. And they had a return punt here. Thank you, Bob Toledo. We're seeing if you can beat Ohio State later on today. This might be a very quick BearCave if it's all splatterings. Danny Omaha, 278 and 2 touchdowns. Radeau starts 195 and 3 scores. Bork Buns had a score. On defense, 10 tackles for Collins, 4 TFLs, the sack for Denzel Hogan, 2 picks, both SFA players. 2 deflections, no forced fumbles. And then we had the punt return for the touchdown by Tyone Flair. Yes, as long as my tool doesn't give me any headaches, Bob Toledo, I'm going to do round 2 today. Victor Ross, 279, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. He didn't have a great day. They couldn't run the ball. Blankenship didn't have a great day. 2 touchdowns for Rouse. Scoring is just like a March Madness bracket, Fi. You get more points the deeper your picks are correct. So there's like 80 total points from March Madness available. Later today, Bob Toledo, I have to take like 15 minutes to mess with the tool, post the first round games and that kind of a thing. All right, so round 1 going pretty quickly here, at least at the top. Thought this game might give Keats some headaches. The First Responder Bowl. All right, next up, let's take a look, see where we're going next. Penn State and Kent State. Winner goes on the road to Fresno State. Going to be a very interesting game. What version of Kent State are we going to see? Are we going to see the one that knocked off Arkansas? Or are we going to see the one that lost to like Miami, Ohio? Blazing, if you're here, let me know. Heads or tails, kick or receive. Coach Dave, if you're here, you can pick your jersey. And then let's get the prediction going. All right, you rocking Penn State. They just took a brutal L in the Big Ten Championship. Or will Kent State got in via an at-large resume. Will they save Christmas? I haven't even begun to think about the TP. There's 4 confirmed players. There's Jim Romo from Rutgers, the quarterback from Tulane, Ben Maxwell, and then the 2 I posted yesterday, Orville Wildhog and Yam Tumor. Oh, no. I'm not letting him break the red shirt for the playoff game, because then it would ruin his eligibility. All right. Going on board with Coach Blazing. I don't see him here. So who is going to go ahead and take out Fresno State? Because he broke the red shirt to play him when he had quarterback injuries. So then he did it again this year. Look at those jerseys here for Kent State, looking great. Here at State College, CFP opening round action. We are looking for our first upset. Will it be of the Nittany Lions, who have not been in the playoff since like season 6? So a nice return here from Coach Dave. Let's see what happens. They score first. Kent State responds to the field goal. Kent State, we know, can score in a hurry. Nice long drive, gets no points out of it. Still down 2 scores. They get one right before halftime. It's 21-10 at the break. And a quick strike for Penn State. And they are going Splattertown here. Penn State looking good. What a start to the game for Penn State. They're looking to finish it here. Only 10 points here for Coach Blazing on the road. Of course, playing on the road in these environments can be so difficult, and Penn State brings it home. So a bit of a splatter there, and Rode McKnight gets himself a kickoff return. So down goes Kent State. Great season for them, but they kind of just trailed off at the end. So Tredarian Lions 14 of 32, 193 and a score. Rushing, they couldn't run. Where's Orville Wildhog? Cunningham had 49. 4 TFLs for Ryan Hightower, the SFA player. No interceptions, 4 deflections, forced fumble. Penn State, Thad Russell, 15 of 25, 210 and a score. His story continues. Rode McKnight, so it doesn't look like they have Gutierrez back in the CFP, so 142 and 2 scores for Rode. Andrea Hummer had 7 tackles. They had 4 total sacks here. No picks. 3 deflections. The forced fumble from Makiti Soto. They did not recover. And, of course, we had that kickoff return, 95 yards. So halfway through round 1, we've yet to even jump into a game. No, it won't, Dogwater. This is not the new game. You're stupid. This game will not redshirt them if there's any stats recorded at all. You're not rage baiting me, buddy. I'm not doing it. All right, next up, so we have half of the first round done. We're going to finish the Fiesta Bowl quadrant. Iowa and Boise State. This is the first game where the road team is favored. So Jarkus, if you're here, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. So are you predicting the upset, or is Boise State going to shock the world at home on the blue turf? Iowa is the heavy favorite here. Let's see what happens. Coach Haydoon. We're going to have brothers back-to-back. We're going to have Wind, and we're going to have Haydoon back-to-back games. I do not see Jarkus, but we'll go aboard with the Hawkeyes. Major Pibb SFA Player of the Year for Boise State. Winner goes on to face Notre Dame later today. 8-4 Iowa, some of the best wins in the country. Boise State, of course, 11-2. Let's see what happens. We're on the blue turf. CFP opening round. All the favorites have won so far. Will we get our first seeded upset here with Iowa? The first ever 4-loss at-large bid. Oh, baby. All right, heads in kick for the Hawkeyes. Who goes on to face Notre Dame? Iowa strikes first. They strike second. They strike third. Boise getting blanked at home. Boise having a little bit of a comeback. Not like this. Haydoon, 34. Do they have a miracle in them? I don't see it. 48-19. A splattering here for Iowa, making a statement. So the first seeded upset, the number 20 seed beats the 13 seed. And we got another kickoff return. Third straight. Johnny Pippen this time. What is with the special teams? So Iowa beats Boise on the road. So Miguel Eller, he goes 21-26, 255, 3 scores. Dash Dixie had over 200 yards and 3 scores. Pippen had 120. Shoemaker 2 touchdowns. Vandermeulen had 1. Mordecai 12 tackles, 4 TFLs, 2 sacks, no interceptions, 3 deflections, the forced fumble for Hines, and another return, this one for Johnny Pippen. For Boise State, the SFA Player of the Year, 371 and 3 scores. He might be back next year. They could not run the ball. Bogarts, Mackey Award winner, had 117. T-Bone had 101. They just couldn't really play enough defense here. Conway, 3 TFLs, the sack for Ziegler. No interceptions. 2 deflections. So 48-26 is your final. Some high-scoring games here in the CFP. And we haven't jumped in one time yet. This might be a quick video. The opening round splatter. That was more close. A lot of you guys actually thought Boise could get that one done. All right, next up, we are going. This is the one that's the biggest toss-up of the first round. Stanford and NC State. We've got Coach Wind taking on Coach Airborne. Airborne, if you're here, let me know. Heads or tails, kick or receive. Also, if you're watching, make sure to check out the GoFundMe for our friend Coach Wind. He's battling some cancer. So go check that out. So we'll see if he will lose this game. The Silver Bullet taking on Poppy Showtime. Poppy Showtime should be back. So who are you rocking with? Stanford? Or are you rocking with NC State? Winner faces Illinois and the Beanie Babies. All right, here we go. Number 19 going on the road to number 14. The Pac-12 champ, NC State, has the best win in the country. They beat Florida State on BearCave. So here we go. NC State, last time they're in the playoff was Season 8 against Ohio State. Stanford was here last year. Here we go. Poppy Showtime. And the Silver Bullets. So tails and kick. Will we actually get to jump into a game today? That is the question. NC State starts with the lead. Here comes Stanford. Here we go. We got a good game, and they missed the extra point. NC State up 2 scores. Stanford's got to figure it out. They do right before halftime. It's a 6-point lead for NC State on the road. NC State looking to extend it. They do. Stanford hanging around. Here we go, fourth quarter. It's a 1-score game. This is what we were waiting for. We're going to go one play at a time. It's Corey Light. Can they take the lead here? They're inside the 20. Third down. Touchdown, Stanford. They take the lead. So 3 minutes, 40 seconds for NC State. Poppy Showtime legacy game. No, they have to punt. Can they get this ball back? Oh my gosh, they keep having penalties. Here we go, 2nd and 5. Second round on the line. Can Stanford finish the job? They're up by 1 point. Will Poppy Showtime get another chance? Quick option from the Silver Bullet, and he gets it to the Quentin Sims. Last chance for NC State. Handoff to Quentin Sims. Stiffy's a man, they bring him down. A first down would win the game and send Stanford to Illinois. To Quentin Sims on the counter up the middle. They bring him down. So it comes down to this 3rd and 3. Can NC State get off the field? Quick option. Floats it out. Got to get off the block. He doesn't. Stanford's going to Indiana. Or not Indiana. They're going to Illinois. Indiana not in the playoff. 182 for Sims. Barring a miracle here. They got to force a fumble. Inside a minute, they're still running real plays. Does Airborne have a chance? Handoff, Sims, forced fumble, no. This would be a massive win for Stanford. They were a popular upset pick here today. Handoff, Sims, they gotta force the fumble, and they don't. So there it is. Stanford's gonna win by a point. Congratulations. Wind will move on. Tough loss for Airborne. Weird year for NC State with the injuries. The Popeye McMullet era starts now. And Stanford moves on, the Pac-12 champs. So the Pac-12 still undefeated, folks. Oregon, Washington, USC all won yesterday, and now Stanford wins today. Pac-12 might have been a little bit better than we gave them credit for. .195, 3 touchdowns for Sims. Great job. So one seeded upset so far, number 20 Iowa moving on. Everybody else has been pretty standard so far. Two more first round games. All right, scoring summary. It was a great start here for NC State. Tuffy had a 67-yard run. So our streak of special teams touchdowns ends here. Poppy Showtime in his first game back, 18 for 30, 223, and 2 touchdowns. His career ends there. 140, 2 touchdowns for Tuffy. Gary had 11 tackles, 5 TFLs, no sacks on the day, no picks, 3 deflections, and the fumble for Glade Glauber. He couldn't recover it. And for Stanford, the Silver Bullet goes for 220 and a score. To Quentin Sims, 195, 3 touchdowns through the air. He did not have a catch. Namari Dill had 153 and a score. On defense, we had 2 TFLs for Ugwa. No sacks. Pretty clean game on both sides here. So the missed extra point was the difference. This is why you recruit SFA kickers, so they don't miss extra points. Oof. Yeah, that one stings there. But they would have just kicked a field goal at the end anyways there. So, on the score sheet technically, but not really. All right, here we go. Next up, let's see. Let me pull up my bracket. Next up, Georgia Tech and Syracuse. Who's going to face the Corn? Coach Rosie, if you're here, heads or tails, kick or receive? All right, are you going with GT or are you going with the Orange? Everything has been chalk, Cam, except for Iowa beat Boise State. So that's the only upset so far. Stanford will be facing Illinois. All right, do not see anything from Rosie or Coach Mike. But here we go. Can Syracuse get it done on the road? Georgia Tech has always struggled in the playoff, but that's because they're all game day style games. They're a great BearCave team. We'll see what happens. Here we go. Georgia Tech and Syracuse. Second to last first round game. Then we'll take a break while I use the tool to set up the second round. Then we'll be right back. Been a very quick stream for the opening round. Can Syracuse find a way on the road? Bobby Dodd. So heads in kick. This might be the last game for River Elliott there, Coach Dogwater. Can Syracuse win this game? Touchdown Georgia Tech. 14-0 for the home team. Not looking good here for Syracuse. Great start for the Yellow Jackets. 21-0. 28-0. Syracuse got to start playing some defense. 38 in the first quarter or first half. Georgia Tech. Don't score all your points at once. And that will do it. Another splattering here in the first round. 48-21. Georgia Tech with a dominant game. We got to watch out for Georgia Tech, folks. They could be scary. Mike Turner, 53 passes, 442, 2 scores. Jackson had 37 yards. Three different guys above 100 yards here. Dudley and Elliott, both 11 tackles, 2 TFLs here. The sack for Dudley. The pick for Apollo Blackwell. Forced fumble, Derek Woods. They did not recover it. Tevin Crumpler, the Yams legend, 19-26, 293, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Stebbins had 48. They ran it pretty well here. Johnson is back from injury. McRae had over 100 yards. Schlongbaum, 14 pancakes. Vince Givens, 9 tackles, 3 TFLs for Agnew, no sacks. The pick for Merritt. Four fumbles here for Syracuse. They just put the ball on the turf a million times. Yeah, just like when we had the 14-team playoff bye, kind of interesting. We had a lot of large margin of victories in those games. I will say this year's bubble was not that strong. So maybe this was just a weak bubble year. But it is hard to go on the road in the CFP. It's been proven time and time again. So the final matchup of the first round. It's going Tennessee and Southern Miss. Coach Nick, if you're here, let me know. Kick or receive. Winner faces Florida State. Yeah, River Elliott just had his last game, I believe. All right, Southern Miss has made the playoff like 4 of the last 5 seasons. So who are you choosing? Coach Nick, Or are you choosing Southern Miss? Not that bad of a matchup on paper. I would say Southern Miss has a decent shot here. We'll go aboard with Coach Nick. Here we go. Final game of the first round. I'll post the games, take a break while I put everything in the tool, get the second round going, then we'll be back for second round matchups today. And we got snow in Neyland, folks. What? Snow in Tennessee. Uh-oh. In a game where you know there's going to be a pitch fumble, we've got snow here in the playoffs. Not like this. Tennessee, Nick, if you choke this, and if you don't even lose to Florida State, my God. Neyland Stadium. What is happening in this one? Oh no, two teams not used to the cold. 10-3 Tennessee, lost in the SEC Championship versus Southern Miss, lost in the Sun Belt Championship. They're up 3. Not a good start for Tennessee. Oh no. Our second best game of the day probably. 7-3 here. 7-6. We got a good one, folks. Defensive clash going at us. Tennessee extends the lead. They get a safety. And they take the lead! Tennessee! What is happening? All right, John Wobbles, they've got to score. 4th and 6, they do get the field goal. So here comes Southern Miss. It's 4th and 9. They got to hope that they can get the ball back here. They got a first down. That's nasty work. Another first down on 3rd down. So here we go, folks. Southern Miss desperate for a stop. John Wobbles. It's going to be a keeper for Wobbles. He keeps it. He cuts inside. What a play from John Wobbles. Does Southern Miss have a miracle? Quick option. Ball on the ground. Southern Miss has it. Unbelievable. Southern Miss is going to get their chance. What on earth? I told you guys. I literally called it. So now Mike Smith has his chance to save Christmas. He takes off. What a run. Oh my God, what a hit. They have 2 timeouts. All they need is a field goal. Southern Miss. Smith takes off again. He has another clear running lane. They are in yam range. Here come the Golden Eagles. The snap. 1-man rush. He takes off again. He says, fuck you. And he gets 5. Mike Smith, the man who threw the game away against FAU, knocked Florida out of the playoff. 2nd and 5, 1:20 left. He's going to take off a 3rd time. He's doing it himself. A solo legacy drive for Mike Smith. They're already fringe field goal range. A minute on the clock here at Neyland. The crowd is dead silent. He finally throws the ball. Can Coach Nick survive after a John Wobbles pitch fumble? 2nd and 9, 40 seconds left. What are you doing? Oh no, they're running clock. They're comfortable just going for the field goal, I guess. Deep drop here, Mike Smith. And he's going to take off again. And he spins forward. They take a timeout. 3rd and 3 from the 35. It's a 52-yarder from here. 16 seconds. Plenty of time. Hits his man over the middle. They're hurrying it up. 12 seconds left. They probably a chance for 2 plays here. Snap the ball. Has time, gonna run out time, yams it to the end zone, caught! Oh my God, what a catch! Josh Hughes sends Southern Miss to the 2nd round! What a catch from Hughes! An absolute yam! The aura of Southern Miss! So Tennessee has 1 second. Tennessee has 1 second to win the game. Do you believe in miracles? And they're going to sit on it. So how far can John Wobbles throw it? They need a Tucson travesty. They need a 75-yard bomb to save Christmas. 1 play. Wobbles. He's going to yam it deep right-hand side. And it's caught, but they tripped over each other. They had it. They had it. But he tripped over his wide receiver. And Southern Miss is headed to the 2nd round.
21. And the Volunteers. 17.
What a way to end the 1st round. One of the craziest catches in the back of the end zone you'll ever see. That reminds me, maybe because it's Southern Miss, of the Brett Favre throw to the end of the, like when he was on the Vikings in the playoffs. Oh, John Wobbles. Mike Smith sends Southern Miss to the 2nd round. And they will face number 1 Florida State later today. Holy Toledo. What an insane catch for Hughes. I cannot believe he fumbled. That was just a real fumble. He just completely fumbled it. He didn't even try to pitch that. Yeah, let's go see that. Because Mike Smith, I mean, we'll see it right here. Hit as he throws. And then hit in the air. Unreal pitching catch. And then he had it. He caught it and the defenders tripped over themselves. But he tripped over himself. What a game. Yeah, number 5 is right. That is an incredible result here. Let's look at the stats first. So 2 upsets here in the 1st round, at least seeded wise. This is the first actual upset. All right, I can just view the replay from here. So first off, they're just running 4 verts. Okay, fine. And then he's hit as he throws. He gets it off. An absolute laser. And who is this? You got to just murder him. Graves does not. One-handed hangs on. 2 guys on him. And he still comes away. Unreal. So John Wobbles, 1329, 232. Flavors only had 29 yards. Looks like he got injured or something. Unreal. 3 different guys with a ton of tackles. Holy cow. 3 sacks. No picks. 5 deflections. No fumbles. For Southern Miss, Mike Smith, 19 of 36, 245, 2 scores. He had 90 yards on the ground. Macklin led the way. Hughes had a massive catch. The team with only 1 SFA player on their team. 3 TFLs there. No picks. So can the Cinderella run here for Southern Miss continue? I do want to watch the Hail Mary again because I know that was so close. It's like, what even happened on this? Like, he caught it, but then the defender falls and takes out the other Southern Miss guy. If he could have just stayed on his feet. But, yeah. So I guess he did tackle him maybe a little bit. So the first round ends. Southern Miss wins. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes. I'm going to post these game results. And then I'm going to do the tool, get the second round started. I'm hoping to start the second round stream in the next like 10 to 15 minutes. It'll probably be a little longer than that. But thank you guys for watching. We'll be right back for second round action.